Pokemon, with Chikorita being the grass type. A lot of people are mad, but for the weirdest...
I'm going to chime in on this one because I've seen a lot of hate towards Chikorita being like, and not just Chikorita, but also like Totodile. People aren't happy. Now I have, it's in my video somewhere, like put the starters that people wanted in on that picture, just as like a fun little thing. But let's get back to why people hate Chikorita, and I think it's because of the game upon which it was released in. It's also the reason why people hate Silver the Hedgehog, because of the game upon which Silver was put in, which was Sonic 06. I think people hate Chikorita because Chikorita was put in game, or was released, sorry, in Generation 2. And when Chikorita was released in Generation 2, out of the three starters, which were Cyndaquil, Totodile, and Chikorita, Chikorita was the worst one at the time to play through the game. Everybody picked either Cyndaquil or Totodile. I was a Totodile because I'm a water type trainer. Although in the newer games, I have picked like the fire ones. Anyway, that's a side tangent. But people hate Chikorita because of the game upon which it was released in. That's the reason why. I feel like that's the main reason. Because of the game upon which it was released in. People, even though Sonic, I know I'm referencing Sonic a lot, but Sonic 06 was released in 2006. People still to this day hate Silver the Hedgehog. They hate that character because of the mechanics upon which Silver was released in. Silver's a great character in my opinion, but because of the game upon which it was released in, people hate the character. And I think that applies to Chikorita here. Because Chikorita was released in Gen 2, and because you couldn't really get much of a gameplay with Chikorita in Generation 2, people hated it, and I've hated it ever since. And people will find any excuse to hate on Chikorita. Now, I did use, obviously I used Totodile more, but I did use Chikorita back in the day. But I feel like that's the reason why. And Meganium, like stats wise, it's not that great. Of course, I feel like they're gonna have a Mega Evolution. That's the reason why they got the Fairy type coming up. But for me, I don't have a problem with Meganium whatsoever, or Chikorita. I don't have any issues. But I think people do the competitive play a lot, so that's the reason why. But I honestly think it all boils down to Generation 2. Generation 2, the game upon which Chikorita was released in. That's my opinion.